what we're going to try to get through tonight after the wireless is just getting Ubuntu installed. We're going to talk a little bit about file transfer, secure file transfers, getting SFTP set up on the Ubuntu server, and ensure that you have all the packages installed correctly, etc. All right? And then we'll get to a lot of the other stuff with installing Apache, setting up the struts, vulnerability, and then pulling off the vulnerability next week. Okay? So if you want to get a little bit ahead of the curve, because I know the internet is absolutely horrid in here. Okay, if you haven't already done so, I don't think they have 02. If you can find the older version, 6402, that's fine. I think the oldest one that I got was 160404.
That's what I got.
All right, which is fine. That's fine. So if you have that, you're good, in good shape. Okay. You will also need to find. Find it here.
Apache Struts?
No, the JDK,
Yeah.
the developer kit.
That version?
No.
Okay.
The later versions, I think I have like 171, and it should be okay. It's just make sure you download the tarball. How do you know it's a tarball? Because it says tar.gz. All right. We will extract that. Actually, we're gonna take that and copy it over to the VM and then extract it that way. Yeah, the reason I'm doing we're doing it this way is it gives a good example of how to set up SFTP. And well, that's about as far as we're gonna get tonight. So if you can get the ISO, that's fine. I'm gonna blow out my VM so I can do what I did with last night's class. Hopefully tonight's class will go as well as last night's because everything's like boom, 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 and it was perfect. So I know it's gonna suck tonight. Right?
I don't know.
I have the old one. I have the 16 pretty limited.
You downloaded it?
I had to do it for Chuck's class and I saved the file. Yeah, it's right
Is it
here.
Ubuntu server?
Ubuntu 16
Is it Ubuntu server?
server dash AMD.
All right. So I'm gonna blow out my homework 5 image so I can show you guys how to do
Do
this.
you want to copy it?
Okay.
How big can you make the drive on the Ubuntu?
So just a note, I am doing the 32-bit image. It doesn't matter if you do the 32-bit or the 64-bit. I have found on my laptop, I get a little bit better performance doing 32-bit over 64 for Homework 5. That's my hardware. Okay? If your hardware works better with 64-bit, okay. Just, instead of i386, you'll have the 64, the i64. Okay? And that's not just for Ubuntu, but that's also for the JDK as well. All right, so without further ado, let's now talk about wireless. So, Lab 4, okay? Lab 4 is one of those things that will either go very well for you, and it will go A to B to C to done, all right? Or you're gonna hate life. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why. I have a couple of clues. All right, where students struggle with this lab more than anything else is lack of understanding or lack of being able to navigate at the command line in Linux. So if you don't have a lot of Linux experience, one, this will give you some. Two, you have to be able to understand how to navigate your tree. Directory tree in Linux. So when you do a copy command and you have to tell a command where the source and destination directory is, you know how to find that, and you understand what it means. Okay. Even though it says different things in the directions, might not pertain to how you set it up. So You have to be a little bit flexible. You have to think outside the box a little bit. Okay? Be a little more adaptable. All right, so with that, I have my Linksys router up here, and on my machine, all right, I have the Linksys. I'm connected by my host wireless adapter. Now, the reason I'm doing that is I have to generate traffic. If I don't generate traffic, I will not be able to de-off this connection with my alpha. If I'm not able to de-off the connection with the alpha, I can't complete the capture of the WPA four-way handshake. If I can't complete the capture of the four-way handshake, I can't find the hash of the pre-shared key of the network. I can't find the pre-shared key hash. I can't crack the damn thing. All right? This is one of those hacks in pen testing that everything has to fall in place exactly right or don't work. Okay? That's why good pen testers automate a lot of this stuff. All right? But I'm going to show you how it kind of does everything step by step. All right? I leave a link in here, that Lewis Computer How To. All right? That's been up forever. All right, it's a great resource. All right, so with that, I'm going to open up another browser, and I need to generate traffic. So the best way I know how to generate traffic is to go to YouTube. All right. What?
Puppets.
There we go. This is actually a good one here. That's okay. Don't get all cutesy or anything, because we're not going to watch it. Okay? It's just in the background. It's downloading, and I have my channel set up to where I'm going to go to the next video and then the next video. I have that constant stream. Okay? You'll see that here in a second. So let me go back and to VMware and go over to my Kali VM. Now, to start on this, I need to make sure that my Kali VM is on the NAT network. All right? And last but not least, I want to go back over here and grab this URL. And I'll bring it up in another tab. Okay? And if you go through this, you will find every last step very close to the commands you have to type in. Very close. All right? So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and start up my Kali box.
Is the network we're attacking online right now?
I'm sorry?
Is the network we're attacking online?
No. Network. Is it online as it is on the internet? Yes, it is. But that's okay. You're not attacking anything on the internet. You're just attacking the local area, the local wireless LAN. So, put my alpha together here. I've had this thing forever. It's starting to fall apart. Got time to buy a new one. Log in. Okay. All right, so 1 second, I gotta clean up a little bit of stuff here from last night. Okay, so I need to make sure that I want to look at my interfaces. Alright, so as you can see, I have no wireless interface. I have my F0, which is actually going through my connection, through VMware back to my host, and I got, of course, my loopback. Alright, so notice down here in the lower right-hand corner, right, these are all your icons of different peripherals that you have. Your sound card, your video card, your storage, your network, yada yada. I'm going to plug my alpha in. Watch that. What happens? Okay, I get another icon. Right? Sorry, should have had my pointer. All right, I get this icon right here. That's a USB icon, but it's grayed out. Okay. And you'll notice that my alpha device isn't blinking green. I'm going to click that. And it's going to say connect, disconnect from host. I'm going to do that. And you see that it greens up, or blues up with a green dot. Okay, and kind of hard to see, but my green light was flashing. Oh, there it goes. So it's flashing a little bit. So I know it's active. All right, now, if I go back, I do an if config, you'll now see that I have a wireless interface. Okay, this is why I say get a wireless adapter like one of these alphas that has a Realtek chipset, because it integrates with workstations seamlessly. Don't have to think twice about it. You don't have to go in there and configure any drivers or anything crazy like that. It just works. All right, so that's like step one. The other thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and open up a leaf pad so I can take some notes. Okay? Because if I go through this and it doesn't work the first time, I want to kind of copy the commands I'm putting into the terminal to kind of analyze it. All right? Especially as you're doing this in the very beginning and you're not comfortable with Linux commands, it's really important that you look at what you're typing in, what you're doing. Because a lot of times, and I even do this now, and I've been doing this for 20-something years, I type in commands wrong. Okay? But I have an excuse. I have old fat fingers. So you guys have no excuse for that. All right. Sorry. So back to the terminal. You're gonna have at least two terminals open at some time in this. So bear with me. All right. So from here, log into Kali, get our little icon thingy. Now we're going to run the first command, airmon-ng. All right? airmon-ng is going to basically say, oh, hey, this is your wireless adapter. Woohoo, there's your driver, etc. Good, we have a wireless adapter. Next, we're going to start Airmon, all right, and tell it what interface we want to use, which in our case was WLAN 0 as well. Airmon-ng space start, WLAN 0. And it's going to go no. Right? It doesn't like some of the processes that we have running. So I'm going to Control-C out of that. Actually, it renamed the interface from WLAN 0 to WLAN 0mon. Kind of hard to see there. It splits line. But we need to kill the WPA supplicant and DH client, or else we're not going to be able to have this adapter sniff traffic, all right, in promiscuous mode. Okay? So it tells you what to do. Right? It says run airmon ng check kill. So let's do that. Just like that. Airmon ng check kill. And that's going to kill the DH client and WPA supplicant. Good. Don't have to run the start again because it's already running. How do you know it's already running? If you go back to your if config, okay, you can see that my WLAN 0 is gone, and now I have an interface called WLAN 0 mon. All right. So when you reference commands for your monitor interface, it's going to be WLAN 0 mon. Keep that in mind. That's a little bit different than what's on the web page. All right. Now we're going to start dumping packets with the arrow dump -ng space monitor interface, which is not going to be mon 0 for us. It's going to be WLAN 0 mon. All right, so I'm going to copy this one down. Best I can here. Edit. Copy. I'm going to throw that in my legal pad. All right. So in case I have to go back and do this, I have what I need. All right. Hit enter. There we go. So now it's going to go and find all the different wireless networks that are out there that it can find. Right? So we want to look for our victim network. Our victim network in this case is a network called Linksys. It's kind of hard to read there, but you can still make out Link S. So I want to note that information. Hi, Chris. All right. Kind of hard to find out. I don't get all that. But I want to look for the channel it's on. It's on channel 6. But what's real important is to get this SSID, the BSSID. So I'm just going to kill the command, and now I can copy it a little bit easier. That's my BSSID. All right. So edit, copy, go back to my lead pad. Okay. Good. All right. So this right here, that you found the BSSID. You found the network. That's screenshot number 1. That is screenshot number 1. So open up a snipping tool, take a picture of that. You need to see that you found your victim network. Now, note on this. If you are doing this, this is going to be set up in the telecom lab exactly the way I do it tonight. All right, so as soon as we're done with this here, I'm going to take it back up, put it in the cage, hook it up to the internet. It will be available to use up there in the telecom lab. All right, so you'll be able to go up there and find the Linksys SSID. All right, and the password. Oh, I didn't write that down. I'm sorry. The password is really hard. It's password. All lowercase. Okay. The password is password, all lowercase. Okay. Now you need to know that so that you can set up your host to get onto it to generate traffic. All right. If you have problems with that, work in a team. One person just be the victim, the other person be the hacker. All right. That'll work too. If you're going to do this at your house, that's perfectly fine. what you need to do is to know what your password is, your PSK, for your wireless network. And realize that if you're just going to go with your current one, when you submit this, I'm going to have your password to your wireless network. So you might want to do something a little more generic like password, if you can. Now, more modern access points, home routers, they won't let you put a simple password in there. They have password complexity standards, which is okay. Just change it to something, but note what it is. Because when we get to using the dictionary file to crack the password, you have to ensure that that password is in that dictionary file. All right, so keep that in mind. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is screenshot number 1. This is 25 points. Okay? Next, okay? Oh, we got to know what channel we're on. We're on channel 6. Come back to that. Copy BSSID. Next, we want to start dumping information. All right? We want to start dumping information. Okay? And what we're doing here is we're basically sniffing what's going on. We're sniffing the traffic. So I'm going to find out here real quick who was all cute and got on my network. Narrow dump. Dash NG. Put my BSSID down, which is right here. And then it's a dash W, I think. Yeah, dash W. Alright, that's a long command, as you can see. Let me copy that. So I have it for later in case I need it. Alright, now notice I put another directory here. So arrow dump sometimes will allow you to create a directory. Sometimes it's going to dump it on your desktop. That's fine. Doesn't matter. All right, we're going to see what happens here. I've been playing around with this for like the last day or so. All right, and then make sure you have your sniffing interface denoted there. So what this is, the arrow dump command is going to start sniffing the traffic on channel 6, associated with the MAC address of the AP. This is the MAC address of the AP. And it's going to create a PCAP file and dump it there based on traffic from this interface. So I want to do that. Oops. There it goes. Fat finger down. So you'll see that I have, oh, somebody wants to play. Okay, good. Okay, good. Because two of these devices, I know what they are. One is my host. The other is my phone. Okay? I did this because my phone is constantly getting emails anyway, so it's constantly generating and driving traffic. But you notice that 1002B56001E1, see all the frame rates that are going up there? Okay, that's my YouTube channel. All right? What? What's so funny, man?
Nothing at all.
Just that an actual college professor knows how to do this stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
The fact that that's not your YouTube channel.
That's not my YouTube channel.
No, that's me de-authing.
Oh, that's you de-authing? No, the 1002E1, that's...
I'm de-authing something.
You're de-authing me, okay. That's fine, that's fine. So as I'm getting to that though, okay, so I appreciate your enthusiasm, but pull back on the reins a little bit, because guess what? This is my show.
You let the cat out of the bag too fast. I feel like you shouldn't be giving the password to you.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be.
No, that's okay, that's okay. I probably should have saved that to the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as we're going through here, I haven't dropped off yet. I can always look up and try to I'm pretty sure the 1002B501E1 is me. It's either that or it's B0, ABBB. Hold on. You can always find that out by just looking at your IP config. Yeah, the 10, the 01E1,
Yeah.
that's me. So this is going to be my victim.
6,000.
Yep.
All right.
Second
All right. So guess what? As you're sniffing and de-authing, you stole my thunder. I captured the handshake at the same time. So now I got to start all over again. Thank you. Get off my network.
Network.
Alright. I'll go through this anyway. So what you're going to do is copy that down there. Okay? This is going to go fast now.
You're missing a 1.
I know, I got it. Don't worry about it. So, I need to copy what my victim's address is. Okay? Alright. Next, I want to, as that is running and generating traffic, alright, it's dumping all these PCAP files to my desktop, which is fine. Alright. Next, once I have that PCAP captured, or as it is capturing, I'm going to de-auth my my system. So that command is going to be air replay-ng-02, alright, router ID, etc. So, do I have VM tools set up in my calendar box? I can't remember. No, I don't. Alright, no problem.
What's the maximum number of deauth packets you can send?
I've never tried. Theoretically, you can go to like 65,000. I'm going to do like 12. Actually, I don't even need to do that many. I'm just going to do, just for show, 6. So dash A is going to be your BSS ID. It'll be this. Dash C is going to be your victim. And then then your monitor interface. Okay, so that is how you run your DOF. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this over again. Okay. Yeah, that's why. Booted me off, so I got onto the. There I am. Start something new, so I start downloading. There we go. So once I see that running, I'm going to do a new, I have to keep this open. I have to keep this open, so I need to do a new window. And then I can paste that DOF command in there. And you see that DOFing? This is your second screenshot. Okay, just show the attempt. If it DOF, great. If it didn't, I'm not worried about it. Okay? Jump back up, and when it comes back on, it's listening, and it's going to grab that handshake. Once it grabs that handshake, you can Control C, right? And this is your third screen capture, where you have that WPA handshake. So up to this point, we have a screen capture that shows that we have found our victim network. We have a screen capture that shows we have done our DOF after we have found our victim. And we have our third screenshot that shows we found our victim and we grabbed their handshake. So that's 75 points right there. That will let you pass this lab. Okay? Now, the difference between the C students and the A students is cracking the password. This is where a little bit of the system admin stuff comes into play. Okay? Making sure that you find a dictionary file, making sure that you are doing the aircrack command correct with the right directories. So I'll walk you through that real fast. First off, we need to get a dictionary file. Kali has plenty. All right? I am partial to the Fern Wi-Fi dictionary file. So here's how we find that. I'll pull up my browser, my Explorer, go to other locations. I'm going to go through this slow. Computer, user, USR, share. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom to a directory called word lists. And in word list, there are shortcuts to all the different dictionary files, password files, if you will. I'm going to go to the one in Fern Wi-Fi. If you want to use one of these other ones, more than welcome to.
So if we downloaded a third party, that would be the directory?
That would be how you just, yeah. I am just going to copy this and I'm going to put it on my desktop. That's all. Okay, so common.txt ends up somewhere on my desktop. There it is. Alright? Right there on my desktop. Okay? So last but not least, I need to try to crack that password. So, going with one of the terminals here that I have, I want to keep the WPA one. I'm going to go back to the one where I was doing the DOF. So I've already taken a screen capture of it, supposedly. Now I want to go and do the aircrack command. The aircrack command is in step 10. Excuse me, step 11. So here, bring my leaf pad up. I can make another note. And oops. Aircrack -ng space -8 22-B space, that's your BSS ID. So that's this number. Space, and then the directory where my word list is, that's -W, which is root desktop common.txt. Alright, and then where my PCAP files are, which are again space whack root whack desktop whack star dot cap. That will look through all the different cap files. Okay? And I'm going to copy that command. And it's a good idea maybe to save this file, you know, so you don't lose it. Go back to my terminal, paste that command in, hit enter, cross my fingers. Oh, I typed something wrong. Okay, let's figure that out. Typed something wrong. What did I type wrong? A2 is WPA handshake. Did I misspell something? What could it pass me? Ooh, it didn't like something. Okay. Probably might have to that two identical cat files in here. There it goes. Yeah, it didn't like the cat file. So, again, play around with it a little bit. As you can see, it took all of like a fraction of a second to find my key. This is screenshot number 4. So, find your target network, screenshot number 1. Deauth your victim, screenshot number 2. Show the screen where you found your victim's MAC address and you captured the WPA handshake. That's number 3. Crack the PSK, screenshot number 4. 25 points each, 100 points. Good luck. Again, how you do this, this will be up in the Telecom Lab. It's here right now. Go for it. All right.
Can we do it with any router that we have?
I don't care. That's fine. All right. If I would prefer if you can change the password to password, please. For those of you who live in the village, be courteous to the people you live with. All right. I got 1 quarter a couple years ago where I did this, and I got complaints that I had students hacking wireless in the village, and they were causing a ruckus.
I think you're supposed to have your own router in the village. Wink, wink,
Because
nudge,
no one
nudge.
does.
Nobody has their own router.
Oh, no, never. Right.
So about that Starbucks down the street.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now he said it. I got to use the F word. Felony.
Isn't it not a felony if you don't get caught?
Wow.
I don't remember criminal justice.
Hold on. I got to come up with an answer to that one. You know, there's some famous people that said that in the past. You know, Al Capone, Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, the Unabomber.
I was thinking maybe OJ.
I know.
And now,
Well-
Bill Cosby.
Come on, that's outside the concept. That's outside the topic of this class. All right.
We're back.
So, questions on this, sir? For this, it really doesn't matter. This one really doesn't matter because you're doing everything through Kali. All right, Kali does not have a firewall on. All right, I have my firewall off by default, so I live on the edge.
On a burner computer, yeah.
No, no burner computer. Yeah. I mean, if they want all my academic, I don't even have my academic research on this. I have work stuff on this. This is just all my, stuff for my classes. Okay. Any other questions?
Defense against this?
Huh?
Defense against this?
Excellent
Building
question.
networks.
Excellent question. Defense against this. Don't make your pre-shared key password. Okay? Because it's easily cracked. Now, the other note on this. Make sure that your wireless network is set up to WPA personal, not WPA2. Now, this can be done with WPA2. It can, and it will work. It's just going to take a really long time. Because even though your password is simple, the algorithm for the encryption is much, much more complex. All right? More number crunching involved. Your hashes are larger. All right? So, defense against this is to make a very complex pre-shared key, 14, 16, 18, 20 characters, uppercase, lowercase, special characters mixed within. Because you take that, well, it took me 16 seconds to find that, that type of a password is not going to be in any type of dictionary file, so I've got to use a password generator in order to test it. If I use a password generator, that's more CPU cycles, that takes more time. All right? Not impossible. You can always get lucky. And once you capture that WPA handshake, remember this. You are cracking the password offline. You're not on that wireless network while you're trying to crack the password. Okay? This is why doing a wireless pen test is it's a hit and run. It's get in, get out. All right? You go, you find a victim, you deauth them, you get that WPA4 handshake. You maybe do it a couple of times to make sure that you got the right one, there was no corruption. Get out of the area. Go back, and then you can set this up to crack with anything in Amazon, high-end GPU processors. And if it is a complex password, then you have a better shot. But still, even with that type of processing power, if that password is complex enough, you're talking centuries or more or longer to crack it. It's then a numbers game. Make sense? Cool. Okay. And guess what? We change our passwords every few months, 6 months, maybe tops a year. Right? I just changed all the wireless passwords at work this past month. I tell you what, you can always tell. I always try to change. If I'm never doing any type of network password change, I always try to do it on payday. Nobody's unhappy on payday. Ever. I mean, the world could be falling down. If it's payday, whatever. I think I'm gonna go have sushi for lunch. Oh, that sounds good, right? People are happy. So anytime I do any types of network password changes where I'm gonna be disrupting service, I try to hit that on a payday, man. People are a lot easier on me. Just saying. All right, let's move on to homework 5.
Oh, I thought this was the one.
Okay, so I'm going to shut this down because I need the processing power. All right. So, with homework 5. You need to find that ISO, and first off, I've got to give credit here to Sam. Sam Bound is a professor up at City College of San Francisco. I've gone and sat through several of his classes at DEF CON over the years. Real smart dude. I kind of consider him a mentor, and a lot of how I've structured this class is how he has structured a similar class at the community college level, but he teaches in a bachelor's program up there. So it's I got to give him a shout out. Get the Ubuntu server. If you can't get 02, get 04. That's fine. It'll work. Okay.
Off of the link, it sends you to 18.4, but then when you try and find 16.04, it doesn't work.
Okie dokie. Sure. Let's do this. Let me go back to CPP. Okay, great. All right. Sorry, it's being dense. So yeah, it takes you to 18.4. If you scroll down to the bottom and you look for download server, images and mirrors. Here. So if you find one of the mirrors, you can find, I mean, it goes all the way back to like 12 something. But we're looking for 1604? There it is. 1604. Go into that directory. And 160404. So I don't have 1602. That's fine.
I have 1602 on my external.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You can use that.
Okay.
But 1604 will work. So you see the 1604 server. So I just grabbed like either the 64 or the I386 ISO. I downloaded one of those. I mean, it's about 800 meg. It's not that big. So when I downloaded it, you know, here it is. I found that one actually somewhere. So that's fine. It's about, like I said, it's about 800 something meg, 600 meg, something like that. Once you download it, all right, I'm gonna walk through the steps and we need to make a VM. So I'm gonna go to File, New Virtual Machine. Now notice, this time I am not doing a VM import, I'm not doing a file open, I'm creating a virtual machine from scratch. Okay, it's gonna be custom. We're gonna use Workstation 14. We will install the operating system later. It's going to be Linux. It's going to be Ubuntu. Name it something that you'll recognize. CIS 471 HW5. Processors, I like to do, again, this is going to be centric to your hardware. 1 core, 2 processors will work for me. Give it at least 2 gigs of RAM. So that'll be 2048. If you can give it more RAM, if you have more RAM to give it, all the better. Okay. Okay. We're going to put it on NAT. LSI, SCSI, those are defaults. We're going to create a new virtual disk. Before I do that, let me 20 gigs will be fine, and we're going to split it in multiple files. So these are mostly just defaults. Keep the default VMDK. All right, and finish. There we go. It'll pop up there. There it is. So I'm going to come back over here to the CD DVD-ROM. I'll make sure it says connected power on. And then after I've downloaded that Ubuntu ISO, I'm going to go down here to use ISO image, and I'm going to browse to that. I'm going to select it. I'm going to click open. Okay, what that's going to do is that's going to boot, allow me to boot that ISO to do the install. And from here, ladies and gentlemen, we can start our VM. And it's going to start up and say, hey, you want to install? I actually clicked there accidentally. All right. So I'm going to select English, and then I'm going to install Ubuntu Server. If I'm going too fast, I apologize, because this is pretty basic. I hope you have installed Linux in the past stuff. All right. English, United States, keyboard, detect keyboard layout. No, because I'm running off the laptop. English is fine. Layout is going to be English US. We'll go through hardware detection. There we go. And I'll start installing. Okay. This is going to go a little bit slower than it did last night because I'm going through my wireless router, not through the internet. All right. So while this is running, I need you to go and look for a specific program called WinSCP. It's a free program. So there's nothing, why am I crushing the internet connection? Oh. So WinSCP official site, and just download the latest version and install it. That's fine. It's 5.13. Do a default install. We're gonna come back to that here in a little bit. All right. Please enter a host name. I don't really care what you make it as far as the host name is concerned. I'm just gonna call it CIS 471HW5. Let's be consistent. Full name of the new user. I want you to make your username student, lowercase, and your password student, just like it is in the homework file. Okay? That is for simplicity's sake, so if I'm helping you troubleshoot, I'm not asking you, well, what'd you make your password? Alright, I know what it is. This is for educational purposes only. Password is going to be student, all lowercase. And Ubuntu is going to tell you that that sucks. You want to use it? I'm going to say yes. You wouldn't do that in real life. You want to encrypt your home directory. I do not want to encrypt my home directory. I would actually encrypt my home directory. Yeah. And it's going to go through and set up the clock and the time zone and all that good stuff. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And, it's going to reach out to its sources directory via app. So it's very important that you make sure that your internet connection is up. Based on your present locations, yeah, hey, I am in Los Angeles, or at least close enough. Okay, and it'll start downloading and installing. Now, the good thing about doing the server system is with Ubuntu, and I kind of know why Sam did this. I was going to ask you for the entire disk if you want to set up LVM or not, and it's fine. Keep it default. Yeah, same hard disk. It detected my hard disk. Now I'll ask it to write the memories to that. Say yes. I'll configure it. Okay. Continue. And you will write the changes to this. Yes. All right. Changes to this. There you go. Okay. Now that set it up so it's dynamic. A dynamic hard disk, so it'll grow as you need it. It won't just be static and wasting space. And this is where we sit around and wait. This is why I like to tell students that, I get paid to drink coffee and watch monitors. I get paid really well to drink coffee and watch monitors. I'm fresh out of coffee. Check my email. Nope, it's still spinning. So another thing you can realize to make sure that your VM's not stuck on something. Oh, there it goes. You always look at that hard disk, make sure it's doing this thing. right, are we using a proxy? I am not using a proxy. You may be, but I highly doubt it. Continue. That's so the device gets a IP. And now we play the waiting game. Now we seriously play the waiting game. Now it's downloading everything from the repository and installing.
Starbucks is still open.
I know. Hopefully we won't be here too much longer. So you guys having fun with this class?
Yeah.
You are? Seriously?
Mhm.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
wouldn't say that to make you feel better, right?
I love staring at loading screens.
I know, right?
How are the midterms?
Welcome to the wonderful world of IT. Get used to it. This is your career.
How are the midterm results looking?
I haven't looked.
Oh.
I'll look at that on Sunday when I have to.
Oh.
Probably Sunday after most of you have taken the test.
So you're implying somebody forgets?
All right, so this is an important screen, and here's why. You want to ensure that you do not update this system. Otherwise, it will work. Okay? So I know it's hard. I know you're smart. I know you're better than most of the other system admins out there that would have said no in real life, and this is why we lose 384 million Social Security numbers. But for the learning purposes, no automatic updates. All right, this is also another important screen. This is what we're installing. So, for the purposes of this homework, we only have to worry about setting up SSH. And I hit the space bar to select that. All right, and Samba. Okay, and otherwise, make sure you have these standard system utilities. Otherwise, you're gonna hate yourself. Because you'll be installing everything from scratch. This doesn't work. You need to install this. apt-get install. Oh, this doesn't work. You don't have a linkage to install the standard utilities. All right, moving on. And you know, thank goodness I didn't. You know, it's only 285 files. If I had a selected LAMP, we've been like in the 700s or so. I know a lot of sysadmins that if they don't understand Linux, right? So they select everything and eat up a bunch of space and have things that they don't need. It's kind of like setting up a Windows server and selecting every last role, right? One of the worst networks I ever came across was a mid-sized business where every Windows server was a domain controller. Right? I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's just, yeah, exactly. Don't even get me started about how chatty that local area network was. I'm in control, no, I'm in control, no, I'm in control.
Multiple split personalities.
DNS traffic everywhere, NetBIOS, you know, don't even get me started about the orphans. I've really seen some horror stories, some IT horror stories in my lifetime.
Would you write a book about it?
I'd like to if I had time.
What would be the title?
Oh, wow. That I could actually sell it at like Barnes & Noble?
People are idiots.
I'm
There's already a book called People Are Idiots. I'd believe that.
I would probably call it Stupid Humans in Information Technology. SHIT.
How long did it take you to come up with that one?
I just did.
Hey, it was faster than unscrewed, so you know what.
See what goes through your head when you like doing this stuff?
How about can't remember a password?
What do you mean can't remember? Oh. I guess that's a little more PC. Yeah. Trust me, guys, you are going to see some strange stuff in your IT career. Right? It just is. Because like I said a couple lectures ago, you can't fix stupid. But at least it's entertaining. And the hardest part, especially for you guys who are going to go work in government, where you have to be PC and you have to be politically correct and you have to maintain your candor at all times, you know, you just kind of have to sit there, nod your head, you know, take a deep. Would you please excuse me a second? Oh, you gotta be stinking kidding me! Now where were we? Oh yeah, we were installing Linux.
Yes.
Can't go quite that sorry.
Not dancing anymore.
2 versus 1 stone.
So install Grub. I'm telling you, man, you guys are my favorite class. Had fun. All right.
Better than the Wednesday class?
Actually, we had a lot of fun last night, and I know what it was. We moved the class from the. God, I forgot what number. We moved over to 427, like the nice classroom with the tables, and it was a lot. It was a lot more chill. We got a lot more stuff done. It was actually pretty good. So, I just had more people in this class. All right, updates, yada yada. Oh, hey, it's complete. Woohoo! Okay, so right here you got to make one more step. So before you hit continue, come back out to your settings, go back to your DVD drive, and uncheck connected power. So it doesn't go back to that ISO. Okay? Now you can hit continue, and it's going to reboot, and your Linux server will be installed. Yay! Okay? Yeah. Install, yada yada. Okay, so hopefully now you've downloaded WinSCP. If you downloaded WinSCP, you should have an icon for it right there. Go ahead and launch that. Okay, get that ready. So our username was student. Our password was student. Okay, we're logged in. Now we're under a normal shell. Alright? So we installed SSH. What I want you to do is, there's a couple things that is just really good habits to get into. And I want to show you where the configuration files for SSH are. Alright? Now, it's good because this is kind of SSH, SFTP, and easy mode. Everything is already pre-configured for you. But if you ever need to go in and configure specific parameters, you go to cd whack etc whack ssh. If you ls that directory, you'll notice that you have a couple config files. You have ssh config and sshd underscore config. SSH underscore config is your configuration for your client. So if I was going to use SSH and try to go to another box, a router, a switch, a firewall, whatever, I would use that configuration file. But I need to get to the system and SSH to the system. So I need to worry about the server side. That's an SSHD daemon. Okay? So I'm going to go into that configuration file. All right? So to go to the configuration file, just pick whatever editor you like. I'm a VI guy, but if you like Vim, if you like Nano, they should be installed here as well. So type VI, SSH, DA. I'm old school Unix, man.
How do you like VI?
Because I know it. Right? I've been using it for 20-something years. All right. So this is your config file, and in here, and most config files in Linux are pretty easy to read. Okay, they're written in Bash. Bash is like one of the easiest scripting languages to ever learn. It's been around for like, you know, as long as Professor Brown or longer, as it dates back to early Unix systems. All right, so they will show you all kinds of privilege information and logging, where the log files are, authentication methods. All right, so it's pretty generic though, right out of the box. SSH is all the way at the bottom, so it's in an area called subsystem. Okay, I'm sorry, not SSH, SFTP. SFTP has its configuration for the server and user lib OpenSSH. All right, so as long as that subsystem is there, you're fine. Okay, it's already in your init.d to start up at boot, so you don't have to worry about that either. Again, this is kind of Linux on easy mode. If you're not very comfortable with Linux, Ubuntu is a good start. You know, going next up, maybe Debian. Debian and Ubuntu are very, very, very similar. All right. Then the next level after that is probably going to be Arhel and CentOS. All right, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Arhel. All right, and they use different types of package managers and different means of configuration. Now the good thing about CentOS and Arhel, they're very similar, and they are extremely commercial. That's what is used a lot in commercial spaces. You would not find a lot of large organizations running Ubuntu, okay, for like a commercial web server. All right, you will find a lot of organizations running Arhel as a commercial web server. Why? There's warranty maintenance that you can buy for it from Red Hat and get support. And they do constant updates. All right, they are the Windows of the Linux world, to a certain degree. All right, so to get out of this, :Q, bang, enter, and I'm back. All right, so now I need to find my IP address so I can SSH. So if config, and my IP address is 192.168.225.134. Okay, so last but not least, I need to get that Java JDK file that you downloaded. Hopefully you found that website and you downloaded it, you accepted the terms and everything. I need to get that onto this Linux box. All right? Now, I could have put the UI on here and a web browser and gone there myself and downloaded it. That's a little overkill.
Couldn't you do wget?
Okay, could have done wget as well. All right, if I knew what the wget address was for the Java site, that took a little bit more. All right, again. All right, that's a little bit more advanced, intermediate, advanced work. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to go back to my WinSCP, and we'll put that IP address in here. 192.168.225.134, and that username, student, password student. Now, my file for that JDK is in my downloads. It's right there. Okay? So I've already downloaded it. We skipped this step. Okay? I know I skipped this step. So I went to the Java website and I got the correct JDK. All right, last but not least, I'm going to log in. I'm going to accept the key. And now, my machine, my Windows machine is here on the left, and I'm in the home directory of student, which is fine. I'm going to just drop that file there. So I got to find the file. So I'm going to go up, I'm going to go to my downloads, and I'm going to find that JDK file. There it is. Actually, I got two. So I'm going to use the 171. Yeah, that's the one I downloaded. So I'm just going to drag and drop. It'll take a couple seconds. So, a couple hundred meg, I think. There we go. It's in there. Now, if I go back to my Ubuntu server, and all right, I'm in SESSH. I need to CD to home and CD to student. If I do an ls there, there's my JDK file. There's my tarball. Okay. Once you get to that point, you get Ubuntu installed, you get that JDK, you get WinSCP, you get that transferred. We're going to start from here next Thursday on the installation of Apache and the actual attack. Okay? That's why I give 2 weeks for this. Questions? Clear as mud? Pretty much clear as mud. I told you guys at the beginning of the quarter, if you didn't know Linux, you would when we're done. Or you'll know it a lot better. Okay? Trust me, in the security space, as I tell people in the financial sector, in the security space, we don't do Windows. Exactly. And don't even get me started about Macintosh.
Well, I guess Windows is what the Apple Store does.
Oh no, I got myself. I think I told you guys this story like last week. Our new CTO came into our office on the West Coast, and he couldn't get his MacBook on the wireless. And I looked at him. I said, "Okay, here's the SSID and the password." Oh, I got that. I'm like, "Well, oh, it's a Mac." I just like, "Oh, it's a Mac." And he's like, didn't like that. What was worse is later on I found out that he was a network engineer. I'm like, are you kidding me? All right, fine. Get out of here. I'm done. Have a good weekend. I gotta go see Avengers.